Shalom Israel, this is Israelite School UPK, started on 1 West 125th Street, Home, New York, and the Commander Junior Hunter. I'm Natazab, Preaching Officer Natazab, 500 at ISUPK Sacramento, ISUPK NorCal. Today is Wednesday night biblical law class. You know what I mean? When we get into the law, we teach classes from Monday through Sunday, except for Thursday and Saturday, but all through the week we teach classes from 7 to 9. On both channels. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the class, put your name, city, and state so we can mark you down for attendance. Like I said, today is Wednesday night biblical law class. So, today's topic is Judah and Israel being oppressed together. And if you don't know who Judah and Israel is, man, Judah and Israel is so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, the 12 lost tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? The Northern Kingdom being, Hispanics and Native American Indians, and the Southern Kingdom being so-called Blacks, Haitians, and Jamaicans. You understand? We are, despite color and despite where we stay at, what country we native to, and all that, Black, Hispanic, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the same people. You understand? And one way of finding that out and knowing that is the curses. The curses that's in Deuteronomy. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say the curses is going to follow us wherever we go. So that's one way to understand and know who you Israelite. Because, it's some people out there, they don't know who their dad is. You know what I mean? They might have grew up in foster care and their parents might have died. They never met their dad or whatever the case may be. But they want to know if they might see these classes. They want to know if they're Israelite or not. You know, you finding out and knowing you an Israelite is you finding out about these curses and see that these curses fit you. You know what I mean? Because they know what I mean by that is that they like to say we African, right? So-called black people in America is African. You know how I know I'm not African? Because Africans is dark skinned just like me. Africans is dark skinned people just like Jamaicans, Haitians, and so-called black people. But you know how I know that we're not the same? Because I'm under curses. You know what I mean? The African man able to come over here and set up businesses all over America. They were able to get in politics and separate themselves from everybody. But guess what? Black people ain't able to do that. The African man is able to come over here and not get racially profiled by the police, not get pulled over at a traffic stop because he fit the description of something. Even though we're the same race, it's a difference. And that difference is we are under curses, and they are not under curses. And it's the same thing with the Arab man, the Chinese man, the oppressor, you know what I mean, the East Indian man, all these different people. What separates us is that we have the law, statutes, and commandments, and we also have curses that we're under. So that's how we know that so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the same people. Because no matter where you go, whether you in the barrios, the reservations, the ghettos, the projects, anywhere you go, and there's Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians there, guess what? They live in the same condition. They going through the same hell. Whether it's abortion, whether it's gang violence, you know what I mean? Whether it's being subject to the Christian church and the Catholic church, all that. And we up under all these curses. So what we gonna do today is we gonna prove, you understand, that we the same people. Because in the community that we grew up in, especially living in America, everything is about race in America, which is very important. I can't fault them for that. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do hate about it is that with race comes colorism. And the Bible is not about color. Like, we don't hate the oppressor because he got pale skin and blonde hair and a hook nose. We don't hate him because of that. We hate him because of the crimes he committed. You know what I mean? And a lot of times in our community, we hate, especially in the black community, we hate anybody that's not black. Like, the only reason why we love Africans is because they look black like us. So we just assume they're the same people. But them people, we ain't got nothing to do. We more closer in relation and bloodline to Asians and white people than Africans. But while we coattail the African movement and all that, it's because they black like us. We got that colorism from being in slavery. And we still got that colorism in our community today. Even though Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are in the same community, in the same condition, we hate them because of their skin color. They hate us because of our skin color. And not knowing that we got colorism from the oppressor. How do we get it from them? We got it from them during slavery. Why? Because the oppressor don't have no color. He pink and pale. The sun hate him. He gotta wear this nigga the oppressor down there gotta wear sunscreen in the winter. That's how much the earth and the sun and everybody know he the devil. So we got that colorism from them. That colorism has never been a part of the Bible. We always range from different shades of brown, light skin, dark skin, cinnamon color, you know what I mean, caramel color. We range from a variety of different colors. It's not about color, it's about who your forefather was. You understand? So what we're gonna do first is we gonna get Deuteronomy. We gonna get the Deuteronomy, and we gonna show and prove that so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians suffer the same thing. And the more we read over these curses and go over these curses, you'll be able to see, like, damn, without a doubt, we have to be the same people. You know what I mean? We have to be the same without a doubt. You know what I mean? So, Salakia, let me grab my sword right quick. I thought I had it. Salakia. So much is so Salakia, bear with me right quick. Salakia about that. Hell, I'm a professional. I'm on scripture though. Let's go to Deuteronomy. So, like I was saying, you will be able to tell and you will be able to see when reading Deuteronomy that not only do black people fit these curses, but so-called Hispanic and Native American Indians. Whether you Colombian, you from Argentina, you from Venezuela, you from Brazil, you from Panama, you know what I mean? Wherever you at, you gonna fit these curses, man. Yeah, so we're gonna get Deuteronomy chapter 15. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 15. Let me see. Matter of fact, so let's get Deuteronomy 28:1. That's what we're gonna start at. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So this is one of the blessings that the Lord said that he was going to give the children of Israel. He said, if you obey all these laws, statutes, and commandments, even unto this day, I'm going to set you on high above all nations. So in a little sidebar, right? I'd like to tell you that all men are created equal, and that we all believe we the same, It doesn't matter what your nationality is. No, your nationality absolutely matters. The race card is the most important card in the entire deck. You know how I know? Because this look at the blessings the Lord said that He was going to give us specific people that He separated from everybody else. The Lord separated the children of Israel from everybody else, and He told them, if you do everything I tell you to do, I'm gonna put you above all people on the face of the earth. That's not equality. That don't sound like equality to me. That don't sound like we like race doesn't matter. That doesn't sound like everybody should come together and sit at the table of brotherhood under the banner of love. That's not what that sounds like to me. You understand? Let's read it again. It said, "It shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe and to do all His commandments, which I command thee this day." So Moses said, "Look, if you do every single thing that the Lord told you to do this day, what are you going to do? You will get rewarded for that. And what's going to be the reward? That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." The Lord said, "We do what He say. He gonna put us above all nations of the earth." He didn't say He's gonna make us equal to. He didn't say He's gonna put us under. He said, "If you do what I say, I'm gonna make you above all nations of this earth." The problem is we haven't been taught how to be above all. We haven't been taught how to serve the Lord. We haven't been taught how to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. In fact, the Christian church teaches that we don't have to keep the law. Laws are done away with it. But Moses told the people, man, if you keep these laws, the Lord gonna put you above all people. So why is Black, Hispanic, and Native American not above all people right now? We are not above anybody. When you go look at any statistic when it comes to disease, when it comes to you know what I mean, to, systemic racism, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to education, you know what I mean, when it comes to anything that you can think of, Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians suffer more than anybody on this planet. Why? So why is it just these specific people, just this demographic of people suffer more than anybody? Let me give you an example. The prison system. You know what I'm saying? The prison institutions. You know what I mean? Black people. It was more people. Let me just say this. I say it all the time. It was more black people. It's more black people in prison right now, incarcerated right now, than there were actual slaves in the 1800s, in the 1700s. It's more. You know what I mean? Like, why are we not above all people? We're supposed to be above all people. Why are we number one in the prison system? Why are we number one in abortion line? Why are we number one with AIDS? It don't make no sense. And you can clearly see if you wake up. You know what I'm saying? When you really wake up, you'll see that, damn, why did I suffer through so much stuff? Why is it not just me, but as a whole we suffer? And that's what you gotta understand too. Like, the Lord don't deal with nobody individually. You know what I mean? The Lord ain't dealing with nobody individually. He deals with people as a nation. That's why he didn't say, if one of y'all keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'm gonna make you above all nations. He said, if all of y'all keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'm gonna put up all of y'all above all the other nations. You know what I mean? So the Lord deals with nations. He doesn't deal with nobody individually. And like, you go to the Christian church, they teach you how to be an individual. And guess what? Individualism kills nation building. That's what that does. When you look at it, because it's selfish. When you wake up every day, you think about how to just only build your family up. That is selfish, man. Because you have a big family you belong to. You don't just belong to your immediate family, your wife and your children, your grandma and your cousins. You have a nation that you belong to. You know what I mean? You got to make decisions on behalf of your nation. But you go to the Christian church, they teach you to just be selfish. They teach you to be selfish from how they pay tithes, you understand, from telling you to come as you are, all that. They teach you how to be selfish and only care about yourself. But in ISUK, we don't teach that because we know how important it is to be a part of a nation. You know what I mean? So, what did the Lord say? He said He's going to put us above all nations, right? Let's keep reading. Let's drop down to 15. Right. All right. Verse 15. Deuteronomy 20:15. It said, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You see that? So he said it's a stipulation. Whenever you see like but, and if, those are some of the most important words in the Bible. And what did he say? He said, but it shall come to pass. What? Meaning what? This is what's going to happen. If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So he says, this is what's going to happen if you don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God. If you don't do what the Lord told you to do. This is what's going to happen. To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. If you decide that you want to live lawless, you don't want to live with order. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You want to be able to do what you want to do whatever make you happy. You want to come as you are, like you learned in the Christian church. The Lord said this is going to happen to you. That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. He said, if you decide that you want to do whatever the hell you want to do, then guess what? All these curses are going to come upon thee and overtake thee. And that's what we see every day when we wake up in the ghetto. Every day when we wake up on a reservation. Every day we wake up the barrios and the projects in prison. You know what I mean? That's what we see that these curses have overtaken us. You know what I'm saying? That's why you go to the abortion line, nigga, you go talk to just any young woman, you know what I'm saying, under the age of 40, even the old ones. As a matter of fact, you talk to women overall, all of them are gonna be with abortion. You know why? Because that's a curse from God. You know what I mean? When they say that these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, we've been the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community has been overtaken with homosexuality. Our communities have been taken with drugs. Our neighborhoods are infested with heroin, are infested with crystal meth, infested with fentanyl and carfentanil. You know what I mean? Brothers falling out, dying every day. Go to downtown San Francisco. His brothers leaning over with their head touching their goddamn shoes, and I'm just amazed at how he's not falling on the ground. It's just ridiculous. You know why? Because our neighborhood has been overtaken with drugs. You walk up the street, San Francisco, you actually see a lot of people with Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians with needles in their arm, needles on the ground. They're using needles in their hands, and they nodding off, can't even put the needles in. You know why? Because our cities have been overtaken with crime and infestation. Our cities been overtaken with it. You know what I mean? And that's why if you really care about your people, and you say that you know what I'm saying, you woke, or you say that you love Black people, you say you love Hispanics, you will actually see what's going on, and you will want to combat what's going on. You actually want to stand up one day and say, you know what, I got to fight against this. Because if I don't, my children are going to be involved in this. You know what I'm saying? These same curses are going to overtake my children. If you love your children, won't you fight for them? You know what I mean? And that's how it's supposed to be. And that's what Commander Yohana is raising up in ISUPK. He raising our brothers that woke up and seen that, goddamn, this ain't right. This ain't right. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be around here killing nobody, killing my brothers. I shouldn't be killing nobody that's a part of my own army. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be out here being a prostitute. I shouldn't be out here being a pimp. This ain't right. You know what I mean? But only until you wake up and look at it like that, you're going to hate Black people, no matter what comes out your mouth. No matter if you wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, you go to Black events and say you conscious and all that, man, you hate Black people because you're not doing nothing to prove that you love them. You haven't put down drugs. You haven't stopped being homosexual. You haven't stopped molesting children. You haven't stopped selling your body. You haven't stopped selling drugs. You haven't stopped doing it, and you won't do it because that's more important to you. Building up Black people is not important to you. You know what I'm saying? You'll leave that for somebody else. And guess what? Guess what you understand? It's not nobody else's, especially when you're a Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian man. It's your responsibility to do what we do in ISUPK. It's your responsibility. It's our responsibility to teach these classes and go hold camp and go on flower runs and really do everything we can do to get Black people out of the hell that they're in. That's our responsibility. That's the action that we're doing. We showing the people that we love them. But no, you just talking about it, you ain't showing nobody. You show them that you're ready by doing that. You know what I mean? But what did this scripture say again? Let's read it again. It said, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You know what I'm saying? Look at, guess what? It don't matter where you go. It don't matter if you move. It don't matter if you know, you got a lot of people saying we need to move and get out of town. They say, I'm oppressed, sir. You know what I'm saying? You got people that saying, oh man, we need to move to another country. You know what I mean? You had Dave Chappelle. He wanted America was so goddamn corrupt. He wanted to move to Africa. And guess what? He came right back to America, man. Because guess what? It don't matter where you go. These curses gonna follow you and they're gonna overtake you. You know what I mean? That's exactly what's gonna happen. It don't matter if you in Britain, if you in Europe, if you in South America, if you in North America, if you in China, it don't matter where. If you wherever it's Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians at, just go to their community. And guess what? You're going to realize that nobody else is living how these people are living. Nobody is suffering how these people are suffering, no matter where you go. And that's one thing that if you really vote, you will really see that. You will see like, damn, well, why is it only just this demographic of people that's suffering like this and nobody else? And then you would start coming up with some answers, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep reading. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. It said, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. You can't even go ride around your own city without getting pulled over by the police and you know what I'm saying, being thrown in the back of the goddamn police car and told stop resisting. The whole time they beating you with a goddamn billy club, macing you, hitting you all over your head while you cuffed, and the whole time they calling you sir. Stop, sir. Stop resisting, sir. Sir, sir. That's how professional your oppressor is. Like he'll beat the dog hell out you in the middle of your city and call you sir the whole goddamn time. It said, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city." You know what I mean? Like I see brothers get killed not only by police but by each other all throughout the city. And they all these rappers they fighting over who run the city. I run the city. I'm the king of the city. I'm the king of the south. I'm the king of the north. They all fighting over who run the city. And then neither one of them run the goddamn city. The people that signing the laws is the ones who run the city. You know what I mean? And you know, and a lot of brothers they be out here, they thinking that they really doing something living like that. You know what I'm saying? They think that they really, and all you doing is create more generational curses. But guess what? You gonna get killed. His son gonna grow up, and then he's gonna hate the people that killed you. So then he's gonna join the gang, or you know what I mean, or he gonna create his own gang to fight against the same gang that killed you, and then it's gonna be a ripple effect, and it just never stops. And then they gonna tell he gonna go to jail, and all this gonna happen. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, rappers rapping about this type of lifestyle, it's just pretty and glorious, and you just have a good life and get rich. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it ain't gonna happen, man. You gonna die young. You never heard it saying the good die young? That's what's gonna happen. But you know why this is able to happen in our cities? In every inner city where the black people are at. You know why? What did it say? I'm gonna read it again. Cursed shalt thou be in the city. You know why we curse in our city? Because we live in poverty. If you don't understand that, poverty creates crime. If you ain't never heard that before, if you don't understand why it's crime because we in poverty. Poverty creates crime, and it's no different from when a Chinese man moved over here from China. You know what I'm saying? He was living in poverty, so guess what he did? He committed crime. He didn't live again. He didn't live along the social construct of being a good citizen. No, they broke laws. The Chinese man broke laws so they can get up in society. And then they started businesses and moved their family out the neighborhood, started their own community, started Chinatown. Same thing with the Jewish man. The Jewish man came over here and they had the Jewish mob. Why did they start a Jewish mob? Because they were in poverty. So they had to commit crime to raise up. And it's the same thing with everybody, man. You know what I mean? But it's only different when black people do it. When black people do it, then they look at you like you a thug, like you want to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be out here killing people. You want to be out here aborting your baby. Nah, you doing all these stuff you doing, or like you want to be high off drugs, popping pills every goddamn day, smoking weed every day. You know what I'm saying? You don't get up and do nothing, but you gonna get up and go to that store and get some liquor for sure. You gonna go get some backwoods for sure. You know what I mean? They make it seem like you want to live like that. Like you had a long enough time to slavery been over with and done with. Let them tell it. You had a long enough time, about 200 some years, to lace yourself up by your bootstraps, move on, go get an education, go get a job, and but not knowing that you, even if you wanted to do that, if you did that, your family is still in poverty. So you guess what's gonna happen? You can go to college, get a good degree, and get a good job and all that, but guess what? Your family still gonna be out here committing crime. You know what I'm saying? They still gonna be getting locked up for murder. Still be getting murdered in the streets. You understand? Daughters coming up missing. Anything you can think of. You know why? Because it said we cursed in the city. And black people think it's just a normal thing for us to live like this. We ain't supposed to be living like this. But you don't know that because you don't know who you are. If you knew who you was, you would be ashamed at how you was living. You would be ashamed. Now I know for brothers in ISBK, man, I was ashamed. I come into the school now and I look back how I was living, and it's shameful, man. It's absolutely shameful. It's shameful, especially when you belong to a nation that we belong to. Especially when you got a God that we have. It's a shameful thing. You know what I mean? Let me keep reading. He said, and cursed shall thou be in the field. What does it mean to be cursed in the field? What does it mean to be cursed in the field? Cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed in the field is you can see that with the Hispanics. The Hispanics, man, and it happened to black people as well. We picked cotton for a very long time for free. Like these people really kidnapped us, brought us over here on slave ships, and made us work for free. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, they put up all the slave masters like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. You know, all these presidents that's on Mount Rushmore, Mount Abraham Lincoln, all these different presidents. They made statues. They carved their goddamn face into a rock, and they remember them as being heroes of America. They put statues of George Washington all over the goddamn place. Meanwhile, he had slave teeth in his mouth. He took his slave, and mind you, George Washington was the number one slaveholder in his time, meaning he had the most slaves. George Washington. And what he did to his slaves, he took some of his teeth, depending on if you had good teeth or not. He took the teeth out your mouth and put them in his mouth. And then they got a statue around him all over the goddamn nation. You know what that's equivalent. That's equivalent to. He's a kidnapper, a murderer. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? They put statues of this man all over the place. Imagine if they put right now in 2022. Imagine if they put statues of Jeffrey Dahmer up there, all over the goddamn place, all over Washington D.C., all over the capital of California, all over in New York. The statues of Jeffrey Dahmer. You gonna be like, man, what the hell? Imagine if they put statues of George Zimmerman or something. This dude is a murderer. Y'all got statues of this man. That's what they do to us. Those the people that fight against black people, black Hispanic, Native American Indians, they get looked at as heroes. You know why? Because we are an enemy to these other nations. You know what I mean? We are an enemy to these other nations. Like what it say? It said, "Curse shalt thou be in the field." We had to work the cotton field under all these oppressors who got statues everywhere, and 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 we had to do it for free. And you see the same thing that's going on with Hispanics right now. Like the food that you eat in your grocery store, your grocery outlet, bargain market, your Save Mart, your Walmart, your Food for Less, your Food Source, all these different stores, man. But guess what? Your Kroger's. Guess where all that those vegetables come from? The Hispanics did that. The Hispanics made it possible that you can eat some fresh tomatoes. They made it possible that you can eat some fresh lettuce before you go on your 5 in the morning jog around your gated community. They made it possible. You know what I mean? And guess what? They look at you as you still need to lace your bootstraps up. You are a criminal. You are our immigrant. We need to build a wall for you. Immigration Customs Enforcement come looking for you, separate you from your family. You know why? Because it said curse shall thou be in the city and the field. That's why I said that's why when you go through these curses, if you don't understand how to break them down and understand how deep it is, you will see that black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians is suffering these curses right now, and nobody else is. Like immigration, like the Chinese man and the East Indian man, they're the biggest illegal immigrants in America. But guess what? Immigration Customs Enforcement ain't looking for them. They're not looking for them. They're not riding around a big ass truck with two people on the front, two people on the back, like a goddamn 50 Cent song. They're not riding around looking for nobody. They're not looking for the Chinese man or the East Indian man. You know why? Because they are in cahoots together. You know what I mean? They are Confederate against Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. But guess what? Your dad could be in this country for 30 goddamn years. He didn't raise you in this country, but guess what? One day, immigration customs enforcement gonna come, knock on your door, pull your dad outside in his goddamn boxers, have all his kids and wife outside screaming, trying to figure out what's going on, and they're gonna deport him back to Mexico. That's what this country is about. You know why? Because it said, "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field." Wherever you go, Black, Hispanic, Native American, you gonna be cursed, man. And guess what? It's not only the people that ain't got no money, but this is also to the Black, Hispanics that's rich. You know what I mean? Or they got money. You think you can escape these curses because you got money? It ain't no way you can escape these curses. Whether you got money or no money, you can't escape these curses, man. You know what I mean? Because let's drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let me see. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to 32. All of them, let's go to Deuteronomy 28:30. It says, Deuteronomy 28:30, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. You see that? Hey, Shalom Christ, truth of Matamiyah, what's going on with you? I'm saying the scriptures say you shall betroth a wife, and another man shall lay down with her. This happens all the goddamn time. This happened when black people during slavery. Have you outside picking a cotton from sun up to sundown with your wife and your children. And as soon as he get ready, he just tell your wife, "Come here, come with me." And you gotta sit there and act like you don't see what's going on. You gotta sit there and let your wife get raped in some back room somewhere. You understand? And then when he get done with her, he tell her to go back out and pick a cotton. And then he comes stand right by you and pat you on the shoulder and ask you how you doing. Knowing you just heard and seen your wife get raped. That is horrible, man. You know what I mean? That is horrible. Let's read it again. It said, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her." And this is what's going on with the Hispanics right now at the border. It's going on. They separate the families at the border, and guess what? They taking those women and they raping those women. Look, it ain't no might in those brothers' hands to do anything about it. Nobody's gonna care. You know why? Because they say they immigrants. Nobody is gonna care about what you got to say. You know what I mean? It's our word against yours. And they out there raping them sisters, man. So much that this sisters committing suicide. And not only with the Hispanics, but it's also going on with the Native American Indians. The Native Americans, they got the most kidnapped population of women ever. They kidnapping more Native American Indians women than anybody on this goddamn planet. For what reason? I don't know. They just the devil that the Bible speaks of. But they kidnapping them more than anybody, man. They can look at guess what? They kidnapping wives. They kidnapping sisters, aunties, daughters. That's what they doing. And guess what? These sisters never come up and never seen again. That's what's going on, man. Because what did it say? It said, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her." Because you gonna betroth a wife, and another man gonna lie with her. You know what I mean? That's not normal, man. This is a curse. But somebody able to do that to you where you don't get no justice for it, and you gotta just sweep it under the rug like it's just something light. That's a curse, man. And it said, "Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof." Right? You shall build a house, and guess what? You ain't gonna be able to live in the house. Man, I worked in San Jose with Hispanics, right? And guess what, man? I tell you, these brothers are like master builders. When I tell you they'll build a frame to a house, man, so fast. They lay them steel beams down so fast. I'm just amazed at how they doing this so fast. Smaller than me. I'm a small dude. I'm like, God damn, how is it working like that? How is he moving so fast, wrapping his wire? Like it's just amazing. And guess what? These brothers, they build these Hispanics and Native American Indians. Guess what? They build these skyscrapers. They build all these big houses all over the world. And guess what? They're not able to live in these same houses that they build. After they get done building these houses, guess where they gotta go? Back to the goddamn projects, where it's about at the least 10 people staying in a 2 bedroom. Trust me, I know. It's about 10 people standing in a goddamn 2 bedroom after they done built a 4, 5, 6 bedroom house with a nice big backyard. You understand? A big swimming pool with jacuzzi on the side and a big front yard. They gotta build this big house, and look how beautiful it is. just for them to go back and go into a 2-bedroom apartment with 10 people. That's horrible, man. And that's what this scripture is talking about. It said, "Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein." You're gonna build a house, and guess what? You ain't gonna be able to stay in the house that you live in, right? It said, "Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather grapes thereof." You gonna plant a vineyard, and you ain't gonna be able to eat from the same vineyard you planted. Those Hispanic Native American Indians that work on these fields and that producing all these vegetables, guess what? I guarantee if they find out that they eating while they pulling up these tomatoes and these lettuce and broccoli, whatever the hell they putting up, if they find out that Hispanics is on that field picking up and eating that food, guess what? They gonna fire them. Or they the person someone's the devil, he might just call immigration customs enforcement because that's what he got working for him anyway. He got people that don't got a green card working for him because he know he can get over on them. You know what I mean? That's what that scripture says. It said, "Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof." You gonna plant some? They got the Hispanic brothers planting all this stuff in the goddamn field, and they can't take none of it home or eat from it because it belongs to somebody. That's how greedy and disgusting of a bastard the people that oppress us is. You know what I mean? Let's keep going. Let me see. Let's go to drop down to 32. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long." So it says your sons and your daughters going to be given into another people, man. Who does this happen to? It happens to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. This don't happen to Africans. Nobody's going to taking the African children. Nobody is going to taking the Chinese children. Like I said, the Chinese and the East Indians are the biggest illegal immigrants. But guess what? Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, is not popping up at their doors, separating them from each other, sending them back to Beijing and sending them back to nigga wherever the hell they from. They're not doing that. But they is doing it to Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians. It was just doing it to the Haitians at the goddamn border. That's who they do it to. You know why? Because everybody knows that we are the same people. Black and Hispanic, Native American Indians, we are the same goddamn people, and we suffer the same thing. It said, "Thy sons shall be given." It said, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people. Your sons and your daughters shall be given into another people. And guess what? You don't want them to be given into another people. You think the scripture is saying this and they wanted this? No. You think Black people want their children to get took by CPS? You think Black people and Hispanics want immigration customs enforcement to be separating them from their family? You think the Native American Indians want their daughters to be coming up missing every goddamn day? No, man. You know what I'm saying? Brothers don't want that. Sisters don't want that. But these are curses that we're in. Hey, Shalom. Hey, Shalom, sis. Y'all somebody watching me outside. You know what I mean? What does it say? It says, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people." These are curses that we can see right now that's going on at the border right now. I know you just seen it. We just seen the countless pictures of women have to feed their baby through a fence because they left the baby with the dad on this side of the fence. And then they put the mom on this side of the fence, and she got to squeeze her breast through the fence to feed the goddamn baby. We all done seen the images, man. That's what type of devil we up under. And it said, "And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long." Right, your eyes shall fail with look for longing for them all the day long. Meaning what? You gonna be wanting your eyes gonna be waiting every time you see somebody, you hoping it's your kid that's coming around the corner. Yo, you've been having a missing report out for your kid for the last week, and every time you see somebody pop up at your door, you hoping and waiting that it's your son or your daughter. You hoping to hear their voice, hoping to see them again. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes gonna fill with longing for them all the day long. Immigration customs enforcement pop up at your door, separate you from your family. You gonna be deported somewhere in a goddamn dog kennel, or sent back to Mexico or to Ecuador, where it's horrible at. Where crime it's infested with crime, and you gonna be living in horrible conditions. You gonna wish that you could see your kids again, but guess what? They won't grant you to be able to see your kids again because to them you are immigrant. That's what this scripture means, man. And that's what y'all gotta understand. These curses is something else. That's why I will be afraid to sin against the Lord. To know that the Lord would take your children from you. You should be afraid to sin against God. But you know why you're not? Because you taught in the Christian church that you can serve the Lord on your terms. You serving the Lord is a goddamn joke to you. It's a joke. Anybody can do it, however they want to, however they please, and that could be furthest from the truth, and it couldn't be more disgusting. You know what I mean? Let's say, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with them for longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand. And guess what? You're going to be hoping and wishing that you can do something. When they take your children from you, you're going to be wishing that you can do something about it. But guess what? You're not going to be able to do nothing about it. Because CPS rules you as an unfit parent. So now, if you try to take your kid back, now we're going to send them into foster care, and you're going to jail for kidnapping. That's what your oppressor do. Read it again. It says, "There shall be no might in thy hand." You're gonna be wanting to do something. You're gonna be telling the police, "Yeah, man, she dressed like this, she looked like this, she was last seen wearing this, she was coming home from school." You know what I'm saying? That you're gonna be hoping that somebody does something for you because you're not able to do nothing about your daughter being missing or your son being missing. You're not gonna be able to do nothing. Ain't gonna be no might in your hand. You just gonna have to get over it, deal with it, and wake up to see another day, and act like you never even had a goddamn child. That's what this country does to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. And it's a horrible thing. And that's why if you really want the Lord protection, you got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because as we was reading at the beginning of the class, why are we reading Deuteronomy right now? Because the Lord said, if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'm going to put you above all people, all nations of the earth. You ain't gonna have to worry about a goddamn thing. You're gonna be rich and famous, so to speak. You know what I mean? You're gonna be above everybody. Your whole nation of people gonna be above all other people. Just like how Americans is above all people, that's how we will be. We will be above all people, man. That's why we reading this. But there was a stipulation. The other stipulation was, if you don't do what I say, if you don't do what the Lord say, then guess what's gonna happen? You gonna children gonna get took from you. You gonna be living in the ghetto. You gonna build big houses and mansions for your oppressor. And guess what? You gonna have to go back home and live in the projects on Section 8, on government assistance, EBT, welfare, SSI. But meanwhile, you go to work from Monday through Friday, building mansions. But guess what? There's no mansion for you. You work the fields every day, planting vegetables and fruits. You know what I mean? Taking good care of that land. And guess what? You can't take none of that fruit back home. You can't be on the job eating that fruit there. And they paying you like 30 cents an hour. Something wild. That's why we read these curses, man. I won't be afraid to sin against the Lord if I was Black, Hispanic, Native American Indian, man. That's not the truth. I will be afraid to sin against the Lord. As you playing a dangerous game, but you would never notice the coming of being in the Christian church because they teach you that you shouldn't fear that. What you should fear is the oppressor. That's what you should fear. But not knowing that you really should fear the Lord because He the one that put you in this situation. Because you know why? Because the Lord is a good Father. A good Father will punish you for not listening, and that's what the Lord did to us. The Lord punished people His people who does not listen to Him. And you know a lot of times we don't have a father, so we don't understand that. We don't understand that. That's mean. Oh man, that's messed up. No, it ain't messed up. If you got a son, you got a daughter, and you tell them to do something, they don't do it, they should be punished for it. Whether you take their laptop from them, tell them they can't play the game, make them get on the wall, whoop they behind, they can't go outside, whatever it is, you should punish your children if they don't listen to you. Why? Because that's what a good parent does. And it's the same thing with the Lord. Our forefathers decided they didn't want to listen to the Lord. They wanted to live an alternative lifestyle and do whatever the hell make them feel good. They want to serve the Lord on their terms. And guess what? The Lord punishes for it. So who you gonna blame? You gonna blame the Lord or yourself? You know what I mean? You can't blame the Lord because your grandson got life in prison. You can't blame the Lord because your daughter had 30 abortions behind your back. You can't blame the Lord because your son died from gang violence. You can't blame the Lord because immigration customs enforcement separated you from your family. None of that. You can't blame the Lord, but you gotta blame yourself because you sinning against the Lord. That's what you gotta do. All right. So let's keep doing it. It said verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away always. So look, he said, look, you gonna build a land. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like America. How was this land built? This land was built literally on the backs of Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. Hard labor, sweat, blood, and tears for free. You know what I mean? And guess what? What does the scripture say? The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. You see that? We built this land. We made America what it is today. We made America a superpower, a great country, so to speak. You know what I mean? And guess what? We don't benefit from it at all. You don't benefit. Why? Because when this says read again, thou shalt be only oppressed. We built America up, and guess what? The people that's really in charge of this land, they had it. They had it. It was always has been their agenda, and always been an unwritten rule. And guess what? Even though they built this country up, we gonna continue to oppress them. Because if we don't oppress them, they might raise up one day and join our enemies. They might raise up one day and just say, "Man, to hell with y'all. This land don't belong here." We treat Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians like an equal. You know what I mean? Guess what they're gonna do one day? One day, one of them gonna wake up and say, "You know what? Why the hell we gotta be the ones to be treated like equal when it's our land? Y'all gotta get from up out our land. Go back to Europe. Go back to the Caucasus. And they're never allowed to happen. So guess what? They gotta keep their foot on your neck. They gotta keep their foot on your neck. So not only will you not reap the benefits of your work, you would know your position of being a slave to them. Now you under me. You know what I mean? And that's what they do. They keep their foot on Black people's neck, man. And we continue to build this country up. We continue to push their religion. We can continue to push their way of life. You know what I'm saying? We continue to give them our sons and daughters and allow them to be a part of their society and a part of their movements of being homosexual. And, you know what I'm saying? We totally are involved in America. But what you got to understand, if you Black, Hispanic, and Native, you got to separate from this place. And I'm not telling you going to move somewhere else because, like I said at the beginning of the class, these curses are going to follow you wherever you go. But you have to separate. You got to stop trying to be American. You understand? It's no difference from if you, okay, like if you got children, right? You got a daughter, she's 18 years old, 21, 22, and she in an abusive relationship with somebody. A man beating her, boy. Every time you see her, her eye looks swollen. She look abused. She ain't the same little girl you raised no more. She don't act like herself no more. She quiet and keep her head down. She look all bruised up all the time. You know what I'm saying? You gonna holler at your daughter like, man, son, are you all right? For the last few weeks, man, since you been with this dude, man, you been you ain't been acting the same, man. Everything all right? You know what I mean? Damn, your eye black. He black. He beating you. Man, you need to get the hell away from him. Because look, if you keep allowing him to beat you like that, guess what's gonna happen? He gonna end up killing you. You need to get the hell away from this dude. You know what I mean? That's what a good parent says, and that's what the Lord says. What's the correlation? The correlation is, yeah, that girl's in an abusive relationship, but guess who else is in an abusive relationship? Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians. You are in an abusive relationship with America. What have they did to show you that they love you? They put drugs in your community, made you build America up, didn't give you 3 acres and a mule. You know what I'm saying? Told you, to this day, they telling Hispanics that they immigrants. And it's their country, this their land. We are in an abusive relationship. They put drugs in your community, hung you on trees from city to city, told your daughters to have a hot girl summer, abort their babies, and to do all, told your sons that they can be homosexual, you can pick your gender. That's what they tell. And you want to love them still? Give me a goddamn break, man. Give me a break. All right, so let's drop that. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and what is it, 40? Okay, yeah, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee. You see this? It don't matter where you go. No matter where you go in this world, you know you have Black people that tried to flee America and go to Israel. And they went to Israel, they still was oppressed. They went over there thinking that, oh, we Hebrew Israelites, this our land. You know what I'm saying? We got right to this, we can prove it. But they went over there and they put those so-called Hebrew Israelites next to a goddamn nuclear plant. That's where they living at. in a desert somewhere next to a nuclear plant. They're not living in the city where it's flourishing and the businesses and building up black people. They oppressed still. You know why? Because these curses said what? Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Guess what? Black Marcus Garvey tried to start a movement saying, let's go back that the Go Back to Africa movement. And guess what? Black people went over to Africa. We showed did. We hopped on boats and we went back to Africa. And guess what? We got over there and them stinking dirty plate and they lip musty Africans was eating us like hamburgers. Literally. General Butt Naked, or whatever the hell his goddamn name is, and all his little African little posse, black people went over there and they was killing and eating us like a $5 burger. That's what they was doing, man. You know why? Because what did it say? Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee. Look, and that happened because it don't matter where you go, these curses gonna come upon thee and pursue thee. You had Hispanic brothers that try to move out of South America and come to America only for immigration customs enforcement to snatch them up 30, 20, 15 years later and take them back to South America. You know why? Because even nobody you try to escape hell, hell is going to follow you. That's what these curses are for black people, Hispanic and natives. These curses are hell. You know what I mean? Salakia. He said, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. And guess what? These curses are going to be upon you and overtake you until you be destroyed. That's why you see people destroy themselves with drugs. People get on drugs, they smoke weed for the first time trying to fit in, and then 10 years later, you say they're on full-blown heroin. Needle in their arm, walking around with the goddamn sweat stuck to their goddamn behind because they don't even know how to shower. Laces ain't got no damn shoes, hair all over the place. You know what I mean? That's what happened. They said these curses are gonna come upon thee until thou be destroyed. Brothers spend their whole life from 10 years old and up trying to gangbang and then become institutionalized. They don't know nothing but how to keep going back to prison. You know why? Because these curses come upon you and overtake you. You know what I'm saying? You got sisters that want to talk about they want to go to college and you know what I mean? They want to have a good, successful career. I'm too young to have a kid. And then guess what? They have abortion. And then they catch breast cancer from having an abortion. Then they die on that table from having an abortion. You know why? Because it said these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. No matter where you go, what you do. If you black, you under curses. Hispanic under curses. Native under curses. And there's no way to escape it. The only way to escape it is to do what the Lord said to do. That's what you do. Do what the Lord told you to do. That's how you escape it. You know what I mean? Go back in there, mama. Go back in there. Come on, let's go. 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 Close the door. Lock it. Lock it. Let's go to verse 50. No, let's go to verse 48. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. You see that? The Lord said he said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy. Like the people that black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, the people that we serving, the people that's supposed to be our master, our slave master, you know what I'm saying? They are our enemies according to the Bible. They're not our, you know how I know? Because a friend wouldn't hang you on trees from city to city. A friend wouldn't put drugs in your community. A friend wouldn't convince your daughter to kill her baby. Friends don't do that. Only somebody that hate you would do that. Only an enemy would do that because it benefits him. That's what the Bible is trying to tell you. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. Guess what? And the Lord said we're gonna serve our enemies. We're gonna serve America. We're gonna serve the Britain. We're gonna serve Spain. We're gonna serve France. We're gonna serve the USA. We're gonna serve all these. We're gonna serve the Elamites. We're gonna serve the East Indians, the Chinese, man, the Arabs. We gonna serve all of them. And guess what? It said what? Sin against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And guess what? Everything that Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian want, guess what? We have to go to our oppressors for it. We gotta go even in our sin. We gotta go to our oppressor for it. You want to get drunk off Four Locos all goddamn day, and Budweiser and Coronas and Modelo's. You gotta go to your oppressor to get it. You wanna get high, smoke weed all goddamn day. You gotta hit up one of these cannabis clubs in California and go to your oppressor to get it. You know what I mean? You wanna get high off heroin and fentanyl. You gotta go to your oppressor to get all these things. You know what I mean? That's where all this stuff come from. Instead of even not even just drugs, even with your clothes, you gotta get your clothes from your oppressor. Like everybody want foreign clothes, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? Balenciaga, all that. And guess what? All these people that make these clothes literally are homosexuals. But this is what we want, and guess what? We have to go to them for it. Instead of, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And guess what? They put that yoke of iron on our neck, and he said, they shall put the yoke of iron on your neck until they have destroyed thee. Meaning what? Meaning like everybody thought that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. They thought he freed the slaves. You understand? Emancipation Proclamation. He freed the slaves. We all free. Let's move the South. And no, he didn't free the slaves. He just didn't want the North to win. That was all that about. So that's why he did it. If you go back to listen to his memoirs and his sayings, he said he would have kept them slaves if it meant the North wasn't gonna win. It had nothing to do, like the Emancipation Proclamation had nothing to do with freeing black people. Like Abraham Lincoln didn't free us. You know how I know? Because then also they created the 13th Amendment, saying that if you commit a crime, then you are a slave again, basically. You commit a crime, then you can be in bondage again. And guess what? They made everything a goddamn crime for black people. You look at a white woman, that's a crime, throw them in jail and kill them. Castrate them, hang them from a tree. That's a crime. You drink from the same water fountain, that's a goddamn crime. You out too late at night, it's a crime. Put them in jail. Everything is putting black, Hispanic, Native American Indians in jail. Even to this day, you on child separate, convince your woman to separate you from you. She didn't have the abortion, so y'all got to beat her together. So now let's convince her to separate from you. And not only that, as soon as you separate, let's convince her to put you on child support. They put you on child support, you don't pay the child support, they lock you up. Warrant for your arrest. You know what I'm saying? We looking for you. All that. Everything is locking black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. That's why there's more brothers in prison right now than there was actual slaves. You know why? Let's read it again. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Yeah, they put that yoke of iron on our neck after slavery. You know what I'm saying? And you can look up images, man. Look up yoke of iron. Guess what? Black people and Hispanics gonna pop up with yokes of iron on their neck, with iron on their wrists, all over their goddamn body. And what they did was, right after we allegedly got out of slavery, we was destroyed as a nation. We didn't remember who we was no more. I mean, majority of us didn't. We didn't remember. All we knew was Christianity. We forgot who we was. We forgot our whole way of life. You know what I'm saying? We forgot that we used to, love each other and wear braids instead of dreadlocks. We didn't sell drugs and sell drugs to our people. We forgot all those good qualities that made you moral. We forgot those things. We forgot that you ain't supposed to have an abortion. You're not supposed to be in an interracial marriage with the people that conquered you. We forgot all those things. You know what I mean? And that's what it said. They took the yoke of iron upon their neck until they have destroyed thee. They took that yoke of iron on our neck because we was destroyed. How was we destroyed? We didn't know who we was no more as a people. So then guess what? They was able to put any culture and identity on us, and we was going to accept it because we was lost. If you lost, and it's only one person on the goddamn road, and he's giving you directions saying that you got to go this way, you gonna believe him. If it's just you and one other person on the road, you've been walking for 10 days, and you finally see somebody. Oh man, I'm trying to find my way home, man. I'm trying to find my. Oh yeah, man, go. So what you got to do is you got to turn back around and then go left. You gonna listen to those, even though it sounds odd, because you've been walking for 10 goddamn days. You gonna listen to those directions because those are the only people on the road. And that's the same thing with black people, man. You know what I mean? Like after we got out of slavery, we was destroyed. We didn't know who we was no more. And they gave us directions. They gave us their way of life. They gave us something that we thought was gonna fix us and help us, but after being destroyed by these same people. And guess what? It did not help us. It destroyed us even further, man. They took that yoke of iron off our neck, and black people was destroyed. We didn't know we was Israelites no more. We didn't know what God to serve. We jumped into Christianity and Islam head first. You know what I mean? It said, we keep going. And it said, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. They said the Lord gonna bring a nation upon us that we don't know, as swift as the eagle flieth. Why did they give you that image of an eagle? They gave you the image of the eagle. Why? That's America's image. Any no matter what nation your oppressor is, his nation has always been the eagle. Whether it's France, Rome, Greece, America, you know what I mean? They symbol has always been the eagle every time. So what did it say? The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And he said he gonna bring this nation of people among us, upon us, and they're gonna speak a language that we don't understand. And like I said, after slavery, that's why we didn't speak Hebrew no more. We didn't know who we was no more. Because the people that he brought upon us, they spoke something totally different. They was a totally different, they brought a whole different culture with them. You know what I'm saying? That benefited them. But guess what? Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we picked up that culture of wanting to be Catholics. Like Catholicism completely destroyed the Hispanics and Native American Indians down in South America. You know what I'm saying? It completely destroyed them because this is a nation that we don't know. Their culture don't fit us. Their culture ain't for us, and that's why we destroyed because we picked it up thinking it was gonna help us, and it didn't help us at all. It made things worse. You know what I mean? It's like all right. Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And guess what? They don't. This nation don't give a damn if you young or old. They're not gonna regard you being old and you being in your 50s, 60s years old, and you ain't committed no crime. You just driving going home. You know what I mean? I've seen so many videos like that. Oh, grandma just driving going home, and she just trying to figure out why she got pulled over. 60-something years old. And I'm tired of talking to you. Pull out the car, throw her on the ground. You know what I'm saying, jump all on her like she really is a criminal. You know what I mean? Like she really is a goddamn criminal. And beat her and all type of mess. Mace her, hit her with a taser. That's what the scripture said this was gonna happen to us. You see it happen with Hispanic women all the time too, and men. They said this nation that we up under is not gonna regard the young or old. They don't give a damn about your age. If you black, Hispanic, Native American Indian, you are my enemy. That's how our oppressor sees us. All right? And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle. Let's drop that. Go to 64. It said, and the Lord shall scatter thee. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. So the Lord said He was going to scatter us from one end of the earth even to the other, and there we going to serve other gods. That's where you get Christianity from. That's where you got Islam from. That's where you got being a Rastafarian from, or being a Buddhist, or that's where you got burning sage and dealing with crystals. That's where you got astrology from. You got this from other nations. What did it say? Let's read it again. It said, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. And that's what happened. The Lord scattered us among all these different people. And when we got scattered among these people, guess what? We picked up their culture. That's what happened. Because in the midst of us being scattered, we dropped everything that made us who we are. We dropped everything that made us the Lord's chosen people. Guess what? We picked up something else. And that destroyed us. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even into the other. And like I said, these curses are going to follow you wherever you go. The Lord scattered us all over the earth, and guess what? We still was up under these curses in every single nation that we was led into. Every single the Greek captivity Babylon captivity, the Egyptian captivity, American captivity. You know what I'm saying? These curses followed us everywhere we went, even to this day, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And guess what the scriptures say? We gonna serve gods that none of our forefathers knew. Moses and Aaron, they didn't know these guys that we serve today. You know what I'm saying? Joshua, he didn't know the guys that we serve today. Gideon, they didn't know the guys that we serve today. Who else? Who else, man? Elijah, Jeremiah, Isaiah. None of these brothers knew these guys that we serve today. It said even wood and stone. What is the wood and stone talking about? That wood is talking about Christianity. Christ died on a cross, a wooden cross. That's the Christian's religion. You know what I mean? They made the symbol that Christ died on a goddamn God. What is that stone talking about? That stone is talking about that stone in Medina that the Muslims worship. The Muslims had over 365 different gods a year. You know what I mean? And one of those gods was a flying carpet, like you see on the Latin, and another god was that rock, that goddamn rock. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Now you got black people and Hispanic, Native American, we all caught up in Catholicism. We all caught up in Christianity. We all caught up in Islam. And these one of the main two religions that the Lord said was going to take hold of us and destroy us. And you know why? Christianity and Islam is so destructive and it's so disgusting? Because guess what? The people that oppress you, they can be your brother in those religions. Ask Malcolm X. Ask Martin Luther King. It's the very same people that create laws to keep you destroyed and, you know what I'm saying, destroy you and your family and all that, man. Guess what? Those same people that put you on trees and hung you on trees from city to city, put drugs in your community, they can be your brother and sister inside of Islam and Christianity. They can be your brother, no matter what they people did to yours. That's the difference between what we do and what they do. Yeah, they got a Bible in their hand, but guess what? What we do is totally different, man. The people that oppress my people can never be my brother. We can never sit at the table of brotherhood under a banner of love and all that. It'll never happen. You know why? Because I love my people too much. Just keep reading. It said, even wood and stone, right? We serve another God that none of our forefathers used to serve. Our forefathers used to serve the God of this Bible. You know what I mean? And guess what? It's a requirement that the Lord requires me to serve Him. And what is that? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So if you don't keep these law, statutes, and commandments, you can't possibly serve the Lord. And that's where you go wrong being a Christian and a Muslim. Because they don't keep these law, statutes, and commandments. They tell you to come as you are, do what you want. You can go into one of their little church ceremonies and, you know what I'm saying, Ramadan and all that. And there's going to be Chinese people in there, Arabs, you know what I'm saying, East Indians, white people, and they all going to be praying with you on the goddamn ground on your knees. All of them. But in ISUK, that never happened. Because if your forefather wasn't a product of slavery, if your forefather wasn't black, Hispanic, Native American, we can't sit at the same table, brother. You're not my brother. You are an enemy to me. You are an enemy to my people. And that's how we got to look at it, man. We tired of living in the conditions that we living in. All right, so where else? It said, verse 65, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind. You see that? Listen, among these nations shalt thou find no ease. Like, man, you would think that these other nations would feel sorry for what the oppressor did to us, but they don't. They come over here and they say, damn, that people's so oppressed, we can take advantage of them too, and they won't even give a damn. We can put chicken shops in their neighborhood and sell them chicken. We can put tobacco stores in their neighborhood and sell it to them. We can put liquor stores on every corner and sell it to them and benefit from that. We can do the most lowest things. That's why you gotta understand these other nations are goddamn bottom feeders. These other nations are like goddamn roaches. That's what they is. You ain't never had roaches in your house. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all, I know black and Hispanic, we didn't have roaches in our house before. You know what I mean? You got roaches, you drop one little crumb, come back in the kitchen, turn the light on. It's a field of them on that goddamn crumb. You know what I mean? Like, that's what these oppressors are like goddamn roaches. They're like bottom feeders, man. Because the little things that we think, like they take the littlest things and they benefit off it. They put up stores, they take, like for instance, let me say, destroyed, and they know we destroyed. They know we live in hell, but they still want to be able to take advantage of us. You know what I mean? They put up stores in our neighborhoods, and they take all the money from the black community. They put Yum Yum donuts up all in the neighborhood. Guess what? You gonna buy those donuts every goddamn morning before work. Every morning. Then 10, 15, 20 years later, you know what I'm saying? You got diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You got all these things wrong with you. And guess what? That same Arab man that you was buying this food from, guess what? That same money that he got from you in a 20-year span, from not just you, but everybody in your neighborhood, he was able to send his sons and daughters to college. So now you diagnosed with high blood pressure and all these different diseases. And guess who? Guess what doctor you got to go see? You got to go see his son. His son is a doctor. You sent his son to college. You got to go see his son. His son will tell you, oh, man, you need to slow down, man. What you been eating, man? You been eating too much sugar your whole life, man. You got diabetes. And he gonna diagnose you. That's what these other nations do to black people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what they do to us. Goddamn bastards. All right, so let's drop that. Let's go to 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way of where I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy you. What does it mean that no man shall buy you? Meaning nobody's going to be able to save you from the hell that you're going in. Nobody's going to be able to save you from the hell that you're living in. Lord said you're going to send us in Egypt again with ships. What does that? What does that word Egypt mean? That Egypt means a Greek word which means bondage. This is a prophecy saying that the Lord was going to send black, Hispanic, Native American Indians back to America again as slaves on slave ships. Hispanics got here on on ships. Black people got to America on slave ships. Hispanic and Native American Indians got to Europe ships. This is a prophecy, man. And that's what you got to understand now. This Bible fits you to a T, Black, Hispanic, and Native, because this is your book. This is your records. This is your genealogy. You know, I know we all want to go back to Egypt, thinking we Egyptian and all that. Everybody want to go back to the Aztecs and the Mayans, and you know what I'm saying. But your history is way deeper than that. Your history go back to Moses, to Aaron, to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's where your lineage go to. But you just don't know that because you destroyed with Catholicism. You destroyed with Christianity. You destroyed with Islam. You destroyed with religion. But if you just put religion down and pick up this Bible, just read Deuteronomy, you will see that these curses is talking about you. You know what I mean? So let's drop that. Now let's start to get into something deeper. Let's go to Lamentations 1 and 3. So yeah, man, like I was saying, like you can't never let colorism stop you, man. You can't never let colorism destroy you. Like just because like my real light skin, my grandma light skin, but I don't look at them and say, you know what, this is not my people. It's not about skin color. It's about forefathers. About your like Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we have the same forefathers. We are the same people. Because guess what? Our forefathers was given these laws, statutes, and commandments. They was given the gift and the curse. So if we wasn't the same people because of skin color, then why Hispanics number one in the prison system like black people? Why Hispanics number one in abortion like black people? Why Hispanics number one in gang violence like black people? You know what I mean? Why is Hispanics number one in AIDS like black people? Why do they fit the same exact curses that we suffer from? Because we're the same people. And that's what your oppressor don't want to know. Don't want you to know. He don't want you to find that out. Because if you find that out, guess what? The Latin Kings ain't gonna be funking with the brothers in New York no more. The Serranos in LA ain't gonna be funking with the brothers that's in LA no more. The North ain't gonna be funking with the Serranos, and the Serranos ain't gonna be funking with the black. It's gonna be a ripple effect, man. We ain't gonna be at war with each other no more. The only reason why we go to war is because naturally, if you think that somebody is not your people, you gonna want to go to war against them because y'all not the same people. That's how Israelites been from day one, and that's how every other people is. Guess what? They bombed the World Trade Center and killed Americans. Guess what America did? They went to Iran and Iraq and they murdered millions of people. Why? Because those people are not American people. You know what I mean? So when we have these little funks and wars with each other over skin color, over territory and area and neighborhoods and streets and blocks, it's happened because we don't look at each other to be the same people. You know what I mean? So we gotta start being, looking at each other to be the same people again, man. So we can stop what's going on. So we gonna get Lamentations, Salaki. Lamentations 1. Let's get Lamentations chapter 1 verse 3. Salaki. Lamentations chapter 1 verse 3. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. You see that? It said Judah went into captivity and she stayed with the heathens. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Judah, this is the northern kingdom as well. We went into captivity, we had to stay among the heathens, man. You understand? Read it again. Judah is going into captivity because of her affliction. Right? Judah is so-called black Haitians and Jamaicans. And so we was going into captivity, and because of great servitude, she dwelleth among the heathen. I mean, look, and guess what? We had to come to America, in the West Indies and South America, all over. You know what I'm saying? To Europe, and we had to be in servitude, meaning that we had to serve another people, right? She dwelleth among the heathen. And who do we serve? We had to serve the white man. We had to serve the Chinese man, the Arabs. We had to serve every other nation. You know what I'm saying? And in that time of you serving these other nations, guess what you could have been doing? You could have been serving yourself. If you was obedient to the Lord, you could have been serving the Lord. You know what I mean? You could have been serving the goddamn Lord if you was obedient. But we decided that we wanted to live lawless. So we had to go in captivity. He said, she dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. And guess what? Every day, black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we looking for rest. We looking for a day where we can just get off work and just chill and not have to go to work. Chill with our family. We looking for a day where we ain't got to worry about running from the goddamn police, trying to hide from immigration customs enforcement, allowing everybody to abuse you because you know you don't got a green card and you don't want to go back to your country. That's the type of stuff that we face every goddamn day, man. She find no rest. We won't find no rest in this country. Every day they create new laws and policies on how to keep black people destroyed. Like they gave us all these stimulus checks and PPP loans and grants and all that, and then guess what that did? You know what I'm saying? They made gas skyrocket, they made everything skyrocket, food. You know what I mean? And guess what? We don't have that money anymore. We went through two pandemics of COVID-19. Now we damn near about to go into a pandemic of monkeypox, and guess what? They not want to give you extra money and say that you're an essential worker. They're gonna pay you the same amount of money, even if somebody at your job got monkeypox. They won't pay you the same money once you come to work. You know why? Because you can't find rest in this country. Black, Hispanic, and American Indians, we can't rest. You know why? Because if we rest, this country is not going to be built. This country is built off slaving Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians. This country is built off taking advantage of us. So if we find some rest, we get some rest. Guess what they're gonna have to do? They're gonna have to work for themselves. They're gonna have to build America for themselves. And they don't just happen that easy. So they need us. You know what I mean? All right. So that was one. Black, Hispanic, and Native American went into captivity. Verse 5. Her adversaries are the chief. Her neighbors prosper. For the Lord have afflicted her for the multitude of transgressions. You see that? The Lord afflicted Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians for the multitude of transgressions. What is a transgression? Transgression is you broke the law. That's what transgression is. Transgression means that the Lord say you can't be homosexual and you still decide to be homosexual. The Lord say don't eat shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork, and catfish and clams, and you still do that. The Lord say don't celebrate birthdays and you still do that. Sin is transgression of the law. We sinned against God, so we transgressed the law. And for it, what did the Lord say He did? It said, "For the Lord have afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions." That's what sin is. Sin is transgression of the law. The Lord afflicted Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians because we broke the law that he gave us. He gave us laws to protect us. And when we broke those laws, we didn't have the Lord's protection anymore. So guess what? We went into slavery. All over the goddamn world. Drugs is put in our community. You know what I'm saying? We died from smallpox. We died from all these different diseases like AIDS and syphilis and polio and you know what I mean? All this stuff is going on. We died. Our children got aborted. All this stuff that you see happen in the community, it happened because of our transgressions. That's what the scripture says. It said, her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. Right, and our enemies are able to prosper by us not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of God. Our enemies are able to prosper. And not only are they able to prosper, but they're able to take our sons and our daughters. That's why you got Generation Z. They trying to make it to where they trying to turn Generation Z into homosexuals, into lesbians. They trying to make the whole Generation Z a part of the LGBTQ community. That's what they're trying to do by telling them that you can pick your own gender. It's up to you. If you want to be a boy, you can be a boy even though you're a girl. If you want to be a woman, you can be a woman even though you're a woman. They got transgender sitting down and elementary school kids and kindergarten kids and talking to them about gender and all that. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to do. Why? Her children are going into captivity before the enemy. Our children went into captivity among the enemies. And guess what? Our enemies don't care about molested children. Our enemies don't care about turning your children out, making them something that they're not. Our enemies don't care about that. You know why? Because the children are a spoil of war. You lost the war, so guess what? Your children are a spoil. And that's why you got to come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how you fight. Like nigga, what you think this class is? What you think we go to camp is for? What you think Black Watch with the Commander Junior Honda is about? What you think Scripture Breakdown is about? You know what I mean? We going to war. When we tearing down strongholds, we tearing down Christianity and Islam and Muslims and Catholicism. We tearing all these strongholds down and breaking these shackles that's on the minds of our people. You know why? So they can wake up. You know what I mean? Because our children are going into captivity. Our children are a spoil of war. But this is the thing: are you willing? Don't be a spoil of war because you gave up and you are afraid to fight. That's what a lot of y'all do. When you join Christianity and you join fake Israelite groups and you join the Christian church and Muslims and all that, you gave up fighting. That's why you joined them. But when you join the ISUBK, man, you made it your duty. You made it your business to never drop your sword. You made it your business to never give up fighting for your people. And that's just a fact. And that's what we doing in the UBK. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's it on that, though. Let's get some more. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 33. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah 50 and 33. Also, man, make sure you put your name, city, and state. You know what I'm saying? So we can mark you down for attendance, Baba Kashab. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord God, Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. You see that? The scriptures say Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians were oppressed together, not separately. You know what I mean? Because we got different skin colors, or because we from different neighborhoods, or because we separated because of language. You speak Spanish, I speak Mexican. I speak English. No, what did the scripture say? It said, "Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together." It said Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, so-called. It said we are oppressed together. And that's why when you look at these statistics about abortion and gang violence and the prison system and AIDS and whatever you look up, guess what? Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we neck and neck with it. Why? Because we under these curses. It said, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go. And guess what? The people that oppress us, they hold us fast. Meaning what? They're not quick to let us go. You know what I'm saying? eventually, if you grab somebody, eventually you're gonna let them go. You know what I mean? At a certain time, like, hey, I ain't gonna make them good. They're not letting us go. You know why? Because if they let us go, this is gonna happen. America will stop being built, and it's the same thing that Pharaoh did. That's why Moses said, "Let my people go." What did the scripture say? It said they refused to let them go. America refused to let Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians go. And guess what? America will be destroyed way worse than Egypt. America is going to be violently destroyed by the Lord and Michael and the angels for what they did to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. You understand? But the scripture said we was oppressed together. So let's drop that and uh, let's get Jeremiah 17:4. Get Jeremiah 17:4. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And that was another curse. The scripture said, man, look, we gonna discontinue from our heritage that the Lord gave us. So not only we are oppressed together, but in that oppression and in that captivity that we served together, the Lord said we was gonna discontinue from our heritage. Meaning what? We wasn't gonna know that Hispanics spoke Hebrew and Native American Indians spoke Hebrew, Puerto Ricans. We weren't gonna know that black people spoke Hebrew prior to slavery. We wasn't gonna know these things. We wasn't gonna know that we was Israelites according to the Bible. You know what I mean? We was gonna think that we African American. We was gonna think that we Hispanic, Latino. You know what I'm saying? Savages. That's what we was gonna believe. What the scripture say? It said, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage. It said, like, even Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians are going to discontinue from their heritage, meaning that they're not going to remember who they is anymore. We're going to think that we American. We're going to think that it's a lot of Hispanics that think they come from Europe because they speak Spanish. That's horrible. But then also you got black people that's so destroyed too, and they think just because they got dark skin that they come from Africa. That's a curse. Us as a people believing that we're not the same people and we belong to a different group, that is a curse. That we reading about it right now. It said, "And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee." Like our heritage is to not eat shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork, not celebrate birthdays. You know what I'm saying? Not get lineups, not walk around half naked, prostituting our women, being pimps and whoremongers, and committing adultery and sinning. That's not our culture. We picked up somebody else's culture that allowed us and gave us the luxury to be able to live how we want to live and still be able to serve the Lord on our terms. And that destroyed us as a people. You know what I mean? It said, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. And guess what? We kindled a fire in the Lord's anger, and the Lord says it's going to burn for a very long time. Until how long? Until we come back to serve Him. That's how long it's going to burn. All right, so let's get Deuteronomy 28:37. And it said, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whither thou shalt be led. It's like it. All nations, it's like it. What was it again? 37, I'm tripping. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. What does that mean? You're going to become a proverb and a byword. That means that instead of you being an Israelite from the tribe of Judah or Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, Simeon, Levi, Naphtali, Manasseh, you know what I'm saying, Asher, Reuben, instead of you being a part of those tribes and knowing that you belong to those specific tribes or you belong to that specific nation of people, you're going to think that you are African American, which is two white people names, two white men names. How can you be that? You're going to think that you Afro American. You're going to think that you black, which is a color. You're going to think you Hispanic. You know what I mean? You're going to think that you Latino. You're going to think that you a Puerto Rican, which means Bridgeport. You know what I'm saying? You're going to think that you a Seminole Indian, which means savage. You're going to think that you a Native American Indian, which means savage. You're going to believe all those things. Why? What does the scripture say? and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword. That's what a proverb and a byword means. You know what I'm saying? A proverb and a byword is something you a nigga, you a spick, you a wetback, you an immigrant, you a bean eating bastard. You say you a nigga, you a good for nothing lazy bastard. That's a byword. Everything that they say about Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, those are bywords, and the Lord said that they was going to say this about us. You know why? Because they don't have any reason to respect us. Because we don't even know who we is anymore. We don't know that we Israelites. We don't even try to fight for it. Besides outside the ISBK, we don't try to fight for it. And guess what? These heathens know who he is. You know what I mean? And it said, all among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. And it said, among all the nations where the Lord shall lead thee. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna be known as. Hey, we're not gonna be known as this great people. You know what I'm saying? That serve the Lord, because that's what the Lord said was gonna happen. And he said, if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, all these people are gonna look at you and they're gonna say, man, this is a great and wonderful people. Who can be like them? This is a nation that's full of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. But they don't look at us like that. You know why? Because if you pick up somebody else's culture, they gonna look at you like you don't have a culture. You're an idiot. You're dumb. You know, you're not special. You trying to be like us. You know what I mean? It's just like if you copy somebody's test and they got their classroom, everybody gonna be like, man, you copy? Oh, you're not original. You copy that test. We don't gotta respect you as a scholar. We don't gotta respect you as somebody that's great. You copied your test. You plagiarized your whole test. And it's the same thing with Black, Hispanic, Native American. We want the people in the classroom to respect us for wanting to be Christians and Muslims and atheists and Buddhists and Rastafarians, and none of that's our culture. They shouldn't respect us. You know what I mean? But Salakia, let's get it. We got one more scripture for time's sake. Um, damn, I need like the apocrypha. Damn, Salakia. Yeah, so yeah, with that, man, that's my last scripture, man. Make sure y'all tune, like, share, subscribe to ISBK Sacramento, ISBK NorCal. You know what I'm saying? Also, go watch that video we just dropped on NorCal. We went out in the midst of a global emergency because of monkeypox. The ISBK and the Commanders Union Hunter, we went out not fearing nothing but the Lord, and we end up at they ended up having an LGBTQ event across the street from our camp spot, and we went to that event outside the event, obviously. And we asked those people that was a part of the LGBT questions. So go to ISBK NorCal on YouTube and go look at that interview. It's a funny interview, very informational, and very important. So make sure you tap into that and subscribe. And also, man, tune in about another hour. Me and Officer Karan Yala on another episode of Dropping Jewels. So we got a lot of hot topics we're gonna bring out. So make sure y'all subscribe, hit that, smash that like button, and all that. And so with that being said, shalom. Y'all about to shout out the brothers. Y'all shout out the sisters. The water.